Hi, I'm Tim Henshaw and I'm the Chief Exec at Kamagayo. I want to talk to you about TANTOO, which is a new initiative that's going to drive tourism into Tanzania. Essentially, what we recognise is that Devota and her team at Tanzania Tourist Board get wrapped up in red tape, in bureaucracy, with budget cuts that they can't influence. So whilst they know that it's their role to do this and to increase tourism from the UK, often their hands are tied and they simply can't. So with a private sector marketing group, it's when members of the private sector come together, they work together and they centrally coordinate their funds and their budgets to do a job for Tanzania. So has this idea worked elsewhere? Very definitely it has. For the last 10 years we've been running the Malawi Marketing Consortium, and for the last 12 months we've been running the Zambia Marketing Group. Now I'm going to focus on Zambia to give you some idea of how this can work. More than 20 of the top players in Zambia have come together. That's a really high percentage of the number of major companies that we have. Now what they've done is they've all covered up their own badges and they've put Zambia first, with no expectations of actually what individual coverage they're going to get. Now, as a result, we've seen significant increase in the amount of media exposure for Zambia. In our trade and consumer research, we've seen significant interest levels improve, and we've got the media re-excited about Zambia as a destination. As a result, just last month, we were sending out the renewal forms and 100% of last year's members have rejoined. And at the same time, 2 more companies have added themselves into the Zambia Marketing Group. So that has to be a measure of whether this works for an individual company as well as for the country. As we've said, funding is a major issue with Tanzania Tourist Board, but we've got their support. They're behind this, they're backing us, they want this to be a success. And even if they can't contribute financially, what they can do is they can facilitate for us. And Devota and her team are really keen to be able to help us with things like waiving park fees when it comes to fam trips, removing filming costs when it comes to the media coming out, removing journalist park fees when they come out on press trips, providing us with a facility in London where we can hold workshops and events. All of these things save us spending money elsewhere and allow us to do our job all the better. And if we take Zambia as the example, whilst ZTA initially weren't able to put any funds in, for year 2, now they are contributing. So, the history is there, the way that it can work, we've seen it happen, and it can happen for Tanzania. We recognise that you putting the funds into marketing Tanzania is going to be increasing your overall marketing budget, and you want to see specific results for your company. Now we can make no promises about how many times we'll mention Camp X or promote Lodge Y, because that's not actually the task that we have. The task that we have is promoting the country. But what we will ensure is you provide us with information. We're going to have a trade website. We're going to have a consumer website. We're going to produce a destination brochure that will excite people and inspire them to visit the country. And guess what? We'll only feature TANTOO members. We're going to be sending out regular trade emailers and regular consumer newsletters. They need stories, they need information. You feed us with great newsworthy items, and guess what? Those will be the very things that we push. And we know that some journalists who maybe haven't visited Africa that many times, they'll want to go to the northern circuit, and we'll keep all of our TANTOO partners happy there. At the same time, other journalists who've visited Africa many times will be looking at places that are new. So the southern and western circuits are going to be really of interest to them. So there will be a balance. And I remind you that 100% of the people involved in Zambia have rejoined. That tells us that we've kept everyone happy, and there's no reason why we can't do the same in Tanzania. At Kamagayo, if we feel there's a need in the marketplace, then we fulfill it. And there's 2 classic examples of that. One is in terms of a trade magazine. There isn't one that targets African tour operators in the UK. Well, there is now. Safari magazine is now in its 34th edition, and we guarantee that there will be a significant editorial coverage for Tanzania in each and every edition. And again, this is where you can supply us with great stories, and we'll make sure that they get printed in that magazine, which goes to all of the UK's Africa specialist tour operators. And the next big opportunity is the Safari Roadshow. This is where we take a small select band of exhibitors on the road and take them to the very doorsteps of UK tour operators around the country. We visit Manchester, we visit Cheltenham, and we visit London, because these are the three big conurbations where tour operators are present. And as members of TANTOO, not only do you get a hugely discounted price for participation in the roadshow, but we will only take TANTOO members as a preference. It will only be offered up to other people if all of those spaces are not full. And believe me, with only 10, maybe 12 places up for grabs, we're sure that you're going to want to do that anyway. Talking to consumers is absolutely key, but that can often take big budgets, so we're going to have to act really smart. The first area is social media, where we've a proven track record of building good followings amongst domestic travellers here in the UK. Rather than Tanzanians or East Africans, we want people here in the UK. We want to inspire them to travel. So it's only them that we'll be talking to, and we need your help trying to find the right sort of images and the right sort of storylines to be using there too. The next one is consumer travel shows. We'll attend at least one, if not two, major shows next year on behalf of Tanzania, dependent on how many members that we get. We've a great record for producing real theatre at those events, where people are drawn onto our stands to find out more. And we'll be producing a destination brochure specifically to give away at those sort of events. And guess what? The only people that will feature in that Tanzania destination brochure are TANTOO members. So there's another great opportunity for you to engage. We'll also be running a very small press campaign, but invariably most of those ads will be about gaining extra editorial. So don't expect massive campaign, but there'll be some great little ads out there. Talking of consumers, there's another great way to get in front of them, and that's through editorial coverage in the media. Now, consistently, Kamagayo is the #1 agency in the UK for delivering editorial coverage for Africa. And we've great plans about the way that we can draw freelance journalists in and editors who are going to commission more and more stories about Tanzania. Now, the better the story angle that we give them, the more likelihood there is of them covering Tanzania. So again, we'll want to talk to you about your new and exciting developments. But we'll be looking to get lots of journalists out to Tanzania over the next 12 months to get them writing, get them excited, get them inspiring consumers here in the UK to visit Tanzania. There's one simple objective. For us, is to increase tourism numbers to Tanzania. But to measure that, we need reliable data from TTB. And in the meantime, we have a number of measures that we can use. There's the level of coverage that we see in the UK media, and we have facts and figures to show us that. Next up is the Marifa report, which each year focuses on each of the 3 segments that we need to track. The media, which we've talked about, trade involvement and their support, and we believe that we can increase that significantly, and consumers. What their interest levels, what's their desirability, and how fashionable is Tanzania as a destination, and how much do they want to go and visit. And again, we can track those, and you'll see on the website where we've actually put numbers down that we're looking to achieve across all of those areas. As we're looking to do a job for Tanzania, this shouldn't negatively impact on any existing relationship you have with a representation agency in the UK. In fact, it should do the opposite, and we're looking to provide them with extra opportunities for the way that they can market you into tour operators. So, because we can't market any individual lodge or camp or DMC throughout the year, what we can do is raise the profile generally, and that should provide an opportunity for your representation agency to drive your business forward. TANTOO is going to be run by Kamagayo here in the UK. As we've already mentioned to you, we have the experience of running this kind of organisation for both Zambia and Malawi. So we know the challenges it presents, we know the way to make it run, and we know the way to make it successful. There will be a team here who will work on everything from trade relations, PR, social media, advertising, events, you name it, we'll be doing it from here. Your two main contacts are going to be Anisha and Christina. Both who are highly qualified, really creative people who are going to drive the entire business forward. But there's going to be a whole team of people behind them, experienced at running just this kind of initiative. So far, this has been discussed on the Tanzanian Roadshow, and the 10 exhibitors that actually joined us in the UK, almost all of them are really keen to know more about this programme. At the same time, we had another little meeting that took place in Moshi at the Kili Fair, again where interest levels look really good. And we've already got 2 or 3 people who've signed up to join this initiative. Now it's over to you. We need your support. If you're interested in joining TANTOO, and we sincerely hope that you are, then you should go and visit the dedicated website, which is tantoo.org. There you'll find all of the details about what's going on, the activities we're going to be involved in, and importantly, a how to apply form. Now, from a cost point of view, we have not really wanted to set a price to this on an individual basis. What we've said is that we need a minimum of $75,000 to get this up and running. Ideally, we should get to that 100,000 mark, but we can get it started with 75,000. And really, we don't mind the number of members it takes to get there. Now, we've suggested some prices, and when we first come out to you, some of you have suggested that that's maybe a little too big an investment for any individual to make. So we've reduced those costs down, but what that needs is we need to get some extra members to make sure that we reach that 75,000 threshold. But it's over to you now. We really believe in this project. We've got the history that says that this kind of initiative works. It's an opportunity for you to show real support to your country and come together as a network of the private sector working with TTB to drive tourism in the UK. I really hope that we get you on board. I hope to hear from you soon, and thank you for your time.